Welcome back to Great Day St. Louis. Boy, it's a special morning because we have a special edition of Money Manners sponsored by First Mid-Bank and Trust. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is launching a new video and audio podcast called Money Moves with Jill Schlesinger. Twice a week, she and her producer will be answering listener viewer questions and offering advice about how to make the best financial decisions for your life. She's also debunking some of the advice that the old people have been telling you that you've heard from your family or your social media. So she joins us this morning. Listen, you say you're here to cut through some of this bad advice that's out there. Why have things gotten so muddled over the past couple of years?
I think you and I can relate to this because when we were coming out of college, the economy was very different than it is right now. So if you have older folks who are giving their friends and their younger kids, their adult children, financial advice right now, sometimes it's advice that cannot be followed in this current economy. And we're a little tone deaf sometimes when we're trying to spout off on them. Now, the second issue is that we have seen a virtual explosion of financial influencers on social media. They're called finfluencers. The vast majority of these folks are not credentialed. They are definitely spouting sales pitches. Now, some of them are kind of harmless and sort of silly, but others, they're spouting these things that are actually dangerous financially. So the hope with the new show is we'll call out that bad advice and we're going to help people navigate their financial journey without any jargon and certainly without any judgment.
All right, well, let's go through some of these outdated financial advice that people are given. Many believe it's always better to buy a home than rent one because renting is, they say, throwing away money. What do you think about that now, though?
I think it's tough to tell someone who's early in their career, a 30-year-old, maybe someone who's living in a high cost of living area, save every single dollar, buy a home. You know, this ignores a brutal reality. The ability to buy a home affordability, has gotten really tough in the United States. And frankly, in many instances, renting and investing the difference can produce better long-term outcomes than buying. And let's just throw away that throwing money away thing, because that's a trope. And that ignores the fact that many homeowners understand down deep we're also throwing money away, whether it's property taxes or higher homeowner insurance or repairs on the dollars you'll never see again. So remember, renting can buy somebody flexibility, liquidity or access to your money, and freedom, maybe at a time in your career where you're really going to want that.
So I know that both you and your producer, Mark, are certified financial planners, but on a recent episode, apparently you talked about splurging on World Cup tickets. I think you got some splaining to do there.
Yeah. Okay, Ricky, here's the deal. Part of being a certified financial planner is, actually 1% of the audience just got that. Part of being a certified financial planner is balancing being financially prudent while living your life. And so that's why I am such a big fan of establishing those good and automatic saving and investment habits early. But it's the whole reason to do it is so you can have fun along the way. It's amazing how many people have contacted us to ask permission to spend money even when they have it. I think that we really need to get more in balance. It seems to me that people are either one way or the other. So let's get more in balance. Let's have a little bit of fun on the way.
Amen, sister. All right, new episodes of Money Moves with Jill Schlesinger, Dollar Jill, the money honey. They drop every Tuesday and Thursday wherever you like to listen to your podcasts, and you can watch and listen on YouTube. And of course, you can see Jill regularly on CBS Mornings, the CBS Evening News, and right here on Great Day St. Louis. For more analysis, go to JillOnMoney.com. Money Matters sponsored by First Mid-Bank and Trust. For more information, give them a call at 1-877-888-5629. Or you can find them on the web at firstmid.com.